Let's turn this into some delicious and nutritious homemade broth. Why would we want to do this? Well, one, it's cheaper. Average broth is anywhere from $1.42 to $3 and up for organic. It's eco-friendly. We're reusing stuff that was gonna be thrown away. It's healthier. You can control what goes into it. Look at the ingredients of what is in the store-bought stuff. Sugar's in there. And you can customize the flavors to whatever you're making, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So what are we going to put in our broth? Let's start in the backyard and see what we can forage. Here I found some wild onions, and even though it's winter time, the tops of these wild onions will have a really great flavor. Make sure when you're foraging that it is in a spot that is not sprayed with pesticides or a place where your dog goes to the bathroom. A lot of this stuff is very nutritious and it adds a lot of flavor. You want some minerals and green things. Here's another one. It's called Creeping Charlie, sometimes called ground ivy. You can put that in. It has got a lot of good nutrition. It can be a little bitter, so I wouldn't put a lot of that. We're looking in the garden. What do we have that's half dead in the garden? Here is some celery that got hit by the frost, but you know what? That's going to be good for broth. I keep a bag in my spare freezer that I put peels and that kind of stuff in. So I got onions, there's carrot peels, kale stems, mushroom stems, garlic, the paper on garlic. Also, you can throw in dead vegetables. So here is some celery that has had better days. So grab your heavy stock pot. And this is not a recipe, this is a method. So we've got our forage stuff in the pot. We've got our sad celery in the pot. We have got our frozen scraps in the pot. Don't throw away your old stale herbs. Use them for this. This is some old crusty parsley. Put some bay leaves in and anything that you want to flavor it with. Here's some dill and parsley stems that I'm throwing in here. I'm putting some beet greens in because I'm making borscht. Dried mushrooms give a really good flavor. Here are some that I foraged a couple years ago. I'm also putting some dried shiitakes that I got at the Asian grocery store. You can season this however you want. I'm putting in some juniper berries, and then I always put in some peppercorns. Go light on the peppercorns, they will concentrate as this cooks. I'm putting in some dried nettle that I foraged a few weeks ago. And I'm putting in peels from the ingredients that I'm going to use to make my soup later today. But not this potato peel that's turning green. I'm gonna pass on that. Everything else is going in. The garlic, the onions, and the carrot peels, they're all going into the pot. Customize this however you want. If you're making an Asian dish, you can add ginger, you can add lemongrass, you can add chili peppers. Add and subtract to make it however you need it to be. Now you just add water. Add as much as you want. For a stronger broth, add less. Boil it with the lid on and just cook it until you get it to where you want it to be. You can taste it, you can look for the color, just make it as concentrated as you want. I added about twice as much water as I wanted the finished product to be. So I added 16 cups of water to get 8 cups of finished product. And you can play with this, it's not an exact science. And the scraps have one final life, either in the compost or if you have chickens or pigs, you can feed those to them. I did one final strain in a finer mesh sieve, and look what we got. We got broth for free. And it's perfect. It's exactly the flavor profile I wanted for this soup.